Hello and welcome to Give Yourself Some Leeway, the brand new podcast for high achievers with me, Eugene Lee. Join me as I talk about all things from dealing with work-related stress, burnout, and reinforcing your physical, mental, and emotional well-being for a more sustainable and enjoyable work-life balance. I hope that you enjoy this episode, and if you do, please hit like and subscribe. Today I want to talk about a behaviour that can send most high achievers into a downward spiral that can lead to their burnout or stress. And that's when you're trying to be busy to get things done, but you're not being productive with your time. And this can make you feel guilty that you haven't achieved your desired result and that you won't have time to get it done within your time frame. So I just want to see if I can help you shift your mindset from, just because we're busy all the time doesn't mean that we're getting valuable work done. We often allow ourselves to spend time on things that just don't add value to our lives, whether that's in our career, whether that's in our personal lives, investing in our health through fitness and nutrition, or in our family, spending quality time with our family and our kids. If we're not intentional or mindful about how we spend our day, we can often lose sight of the most valuable thing, our most finite resource, and that's our time. We only have a limited amount of time here. I mean, there's no two ways about that. So when we're so busy getting caught up in things that don't truly add worth to our lives, we're not getting the most value out of how we use our time. Let's just take, for example, you have a busy week working 9 to 5 and Saturday is your main day off, that you have the house to yourself and you're like, cool, I've got 4 hours where I can focus on cleaning the house before Christmas, or I've got 6 hours where I can just, attack the attic, clean out the attic and floor it even, a nice big goal, nice big activity. And next thing, Saturday comes around, you go to clean out the attic or clean up the house, and an hour later you find yourself sitting in the corner playing Candy Crush. Or you come across a memory box and you find yourself an hour later flicking through an album of photos from 10 years ago. So you're halfway through your 4-hour block that you have of free time for this activity, and then the guilt sets in. You're like, I don't have time to finish this. I have a busy work week ahead of me, and I'm not going to get around to it. And you go into that downward spiral of, I don't have time to do everything that I need to do, and work-life balance shifts completely off balance, and that's the start of the downward spiral, especially for high achievers. So how do we stop wasting so much time on the unproductive activities? The first step is to have a plan. Then set your priority list, and then allocate your time accordingly. Often when it comes to these things, people say, set your priorities. And I think that's one thing that bothers me, is that priorities, plural, priority means like the first and foremost activity, singular. So I like to think of it as a priority list, where you have your first and foremost priority and then work down the list in order of importance. So how do we set our priority list? I like to call this the 3 R's. You have your responsibility, your return, and reward. So first comes responsibility. There are certain things that only we can do. These are the things that we must be responsible for. So I think was it Dale Carnegie had this example where, we can hire someone to mow our lawn, but we can't hire someone to exercise for us. So the activities that only we can do, that we have a higher responsibility to carrying out those activities, they take priority over activities that we could possibly delegate to someone else. So let's just say, for example, you need to bake a cake for your kid's party, or you need to go to the dentist. Well, obviously the dentist is going to take priority because only you can do that. You could always buy a cake or get someone else to bake the cake. Probably not the best example, but we'll just go with it. I hope you just get the idea. Second is the return. Now, these are the activities that provide the highest return for your time invested. So one activity that I think is a good example of this, that you get a higher return of time, is meal prepping. So if I invest 1 hour to an hour and a half one day to meal prep for the next 4 days, I'm saving myself an hour of making meals for the next 4 days. So investing an hour and a half now, I'm going to save 4 hours over the next 4 days that I can do on other activities that might have less return. And last is the reward. And these are the activities that are most rewarding to us personally. These are activities that we enjoy the most. They tend to energize us and help to reduce stress and anxiety. So my favorite example here would be you have the choice of working out for 30 minutes or going for a walk for an hour, but you're on a tight time schedule. So your priority would be the 30-minute workout, which is going to help you energize you and release endorphins. So then you have that extra energy and motivation to carry out the less rewarding activities or the activities with lower return. Another point to consider when we're making our priority list is that we have to differentiate between what is important versus what is urgent. So it's most valuable to prioritize the most important activities first, but we also have to deal with the balance between what is urgent, what is under time constraint, and what is important. So urgent activities have a short time dimension to them, so therefore we can't put them off for too long. And in a sense, it's important that the urgent activities are handled soon, or you miss out on the value of that activity. It's kind of like you have a deadline in a project, or you have homework and you submit it a week late. If it's past the due date, there's no point. So that urgency is what makes that activity more important. So what it boils down to when it comes to these activities, we need to make sure that we're not fooling ourselves that 8 hours of activity is the same as accomplishment, or being busy is the same as being productive. We should be focusing on setting our priorities and ensuring that our most important and valued work gets done first. Like, a lot of people keep spouting about how they work 20 hours a day and that they're overworking and they have little results to show for it. Whereas if you do some deep work, if you can focus 4 hours a day and just do deep work with no procrastinating or no distractions, you could find yourself achieving a lot more than someone who's tiring themselves out with a 16-hour day. And sometimes we just struggle to find that sweet spot where we're not overworking, we're not effectively procrastinating and just doing ineffective activities that won't help us achieve our desired result. From my experience, I found that getting up a little earlier in the morning and doing 5 to 10 minutes minimum of deep work is a lot more productive than waiting until your day off and trying to do 8 hours of work, and you end up spending more than half of that time just procrastinating or doing ineffective activities like adding animations to a slideshow, which won't improve your presentation. those 5-10 minutes that you get first thing in the morning, no distractions, just deep work, just getting something done, not only does it effectively over time, by the end of the week, you might have an hour's worth of deep work done. It also, that 10 minutes that you achieve every morning, it's like a quick start victory at the start of every day, and it motivates you for the rest of the morning or the rest of the day that, okay, I've achieved this. What else can I achieve by the end of the day? You've already started off your day with a win. Think of it like this. Instead of hitting your snooze button, you're getting up and you're spending those 10 minutes focusing on a goal that you want to achieve. I think, was it Bedros Keuilian said that when you hit snooze, you're telling your hopes and dreams they can wait. And that really struck a nerve with me. So just by getting up that extra 10 to 15 minutes earlier, I can focus on an activity that I felt like I didn't have time to do. And by the end of the week, I have 50 minutes to maybe even 2 hours of deep work done. And this is just part of the concept that I cover over in my morning mindset challenge. So if you want to check out the Leeway app, you can head over to leeway.ie. Now, the access to the morning mindset challenge is closed at the moment, but the next round will open on the 1st of December. So if you are interested in developing a morning mindset and getting more work done in your mornings and never wanting to hit snooze again, head on over to leeway.ie and you can sign up for the next round of the morning mindset challenge. Well, I hope you liked this episode and I hope you found it helpful. And if you did, subscribe to the show, because it makes sure that you don't miss out on new episodes. And it also helps me because it increases the rankings of the show a little bit, which of course makes it a little more easily found by other people who may like it just as much as you. And if you didn't like this episode or anything about the show in general, or if you have any ideas or suggestions or just feedback that you want to share, shoot me an email, eugene@leeway.ie, and let me know what I could do better, or just what your thoughts are on what you'd like to see me do in the future. I read everything myself. I'm always looking for new ideas and constructive feedback. So thanks again for listening to this episode, and I hope to hear from you soon.